Well, good morning, good morning. Good morning from Boston, and welcome. We're going to study together, hopefully for about a half hour today. And let me do a quick check to make sure that the audio and video are good to go. I think so. Thank you so much for joining me. We have a small crowd. Hopefully, it will grow. And if you're watching the recording, then thank you. Thank you for catching up. This is the first, I hope, of many live streams that I plan to hold once a month. And the plan is that we'll have a live stream for about 30 minutes. And everyone can watch. It's something everyone can benefit from. But I'd like to give my YouTube members a special perk, and that's the live chat. So I'll be paying attention to the live chat and making sure that I don't miss your questions and comments. Although members have already sent in some questions and requests. Some of you will probably be watching the recording, but you'll see that I'm giving answers to the questions that you asked already. So this is going to be a wonderful way to get answers, more detailed answers than I can give just through comments. And so perhaps you'll see what we can do today, and you'll be eager to ask more questions the following month. And we'll do the same thing. I'll receive questions and requests a few days in advance, and then we'll meet at the live stream, and I'll give you your answers. Okay? So Prince, Ray, good to see you here. You're the first to join me. Ray, thank you so much for is it the super sticker? That's so cute. Thank you so much. Okay, let's see if I can work a little magic and share my screen. How's that? Okay, good to go? Super, guys. All right, so those of you who are watching and again wondering what's going on today, why chat is limited, because this is a new perk. I used to do exercises on the community tab, and I want to change the perks to something a little different to see if I can meet people's needs better in a new way. So I'm asking people to join me in this new experiment of the live streams. It's one of the new perks that I'm offering. Remember, all the perks are available for only $1 a month. So I ask you to consider clicking on the join button. If you do see that join button, please click and learn more. It's really wonderful value for $1 a month. It also supports me, and I greatly appreciate the support that I get through the membership program. Hey, I see Hinchong. Hello, hello. Makatsun. Pierre, hello to you. So what are you getting? I think sometimes even the members themselves might forget how many perks you get for that $1 a month. The newest perk is this live stream. I'm going to live stream for about 30 minutes today, maybe just a little bit more, because I want to give an explanation about what I'm changing. So the live stream is a public event, so everyone can benefit. I do understand that some people don't even see the join button. That means, unfortunately, that the program isn't available in your country. Hopefully in the future YouTube will expand memberships to all regions, but they are quite limited, so not every country can participate. So for that reason, I'm making this live stream public for everyone. But to give my members a special bonus, a special perk, I'm going to have a member-only live chat. And I'm also going to give follow-up exercises then on the community tab. So everything will be built around that live stream. That's the main perk. But you do get other things. If you go to Emojam, you can check out my custom audio GIFs. You'll hear my voice, you'll see my picture picture, and these are little gifts that you can use in chat apps. So you're going to find them fun and useful, but you're also hopefully going to pick up my pronunciation and these kinds of expressions like see you later or sorry, my bad. And also on Instagram, I've explained some of these conversational expressions, so then you'll be sure to use them correctly and appropriately. Hi, Manuel. Good to have you here. Wonderful. As you can see, the members are posting already. Each of them has a loyalty badge next to their name. They also get use of custom emojis in the chats and in the comments. And they do have access to a member-only archive. If you're a member, go to my homepage on YouTube and you will see the member-only playlist. A while ago, I had been doing longer live streams for members, and I recorded all those live streams. So there is a collection of about 13 plus hours of live streams from the past. So as soon as you join up for that dollar, boom, you get access to over 13 hours of instruction. So please check it out. Okay, but today the highlight is questions and answers. I received a number of questions, and I'm going to do my best to give you answers. Hi, Dana. Dana's joined me. Manuel, well, this is the first, and I hope it's something that you enjoy and learn from, and you'll be back for the next one. Yep, okay. All right. So, first question that came in from a member is this. Number one, what's the difference between spin, whirl, and swirl? Good question. Isn't it something in English? We have so many related words and words that overlap. Spin, whirl, and swirl. I will remind you there are wonderful learner dictionaries online. One of the dictionaries I really like, I've bookmarked it, it's been among my bookmarks for years, is the Longman Dictionary of Online English. So that's one place that I go to. Let's actually open that up. Okay, and you'll take a quick look at the offerings. What I like about Longman is they'll give you pronunciation, both British and American. You'll get the different explanations, and if you scroll down, you'll usually see real examples. When they say examples from the corpus, they're talking examples from real contexts, like newspapers or something like that. Examples that they found. So that they're showing the real use of this word. So spin mostly is about turning around, often turning around quickly. The first example has to do with plane propellers. You know, some planes that don't have jets, the older ones have those propellers that spin around, right? Propellers. So you can go through the different words. Spin, whirl is another one. It's also good to pay attention to the grammar. Intransitive and transitive, meaning you can use it without an object, you can use it with an object. So for example, the seagulls, meaning those white birds near the ocean, they were whirling and shrieking. So something can whirl all by itself. Or look at this example. He whirled her round his arms. Maybe they were dancing. So you can also whirl somebody. I'm just going through the quick definitions now, and then whirl, spin, swirl was the other one, right? Swirl around. Okay. So again, looking at the dictionaries, look at the grammar, listen to the pronunciation, check out the examples they give, check out the examples from the corpus. But I'm also going to tell you there are other ways that you can try to get a feel for a word. Look at this. We'll do a couple things. I recommended a Google search. We'll do this first. Actually, let me do one more dictionary that I like sometimes. It's not the one I always use, but Collins Dictionary is interesting because they have word frequency. This is interesting because you can tell how frequently a word is used. I wonder if you can see that. Yep, you can. Okay. So for example, if it has 5 dots filled, it's very commonly used. This one has 3. Okay, but now watch if I do swirl. It dropped in frequency, only 2. And if I do whirl, again. So that already tells you that spin is used more often. So if you find a situation where you think the verbs overlap, most people are probably going to choose spin because spin has higher frequency. Again, if we go back to spin, you'll see the word frequency increase. Another thing we can do though is watch this. On Google, you can do an image search and get an idea for what kinds of associations do people have with this spin. Oh, look, this is a wheel that you spin around like a game, or a toy that can spin. All right, so toys and wheels can spin. And if you switch it to, let's say, whirl, whoopsies, I made a typo. Look what we have, very different images. They start showing us these kinds of circular patterns. Whirl. And I see this with water, which tells me there's an association with water. Water can whirl around like before it goes down a drain. And this boat seems to be whirling around in a circle. Hopefully it won't get sucked down. So water and wind can be in a whirl. In fact, we have whirlwind or whirlpool. And if I go to swirl, let's see what associations we have. Swirl. Similar, so you see there's overlap, but we also see these pretty designs, intentional designs. Swirl. How these colors mix. Swirl. Oh, look, ice cream. If you see ice cream mixed with syrup or some jellies, perhaps, or chocolate syrup, it's a swirl. So again, dictionaries give you information and examples. You can check out word frequency and you can see associations. So basically, spinning is turning around. Whirling is similar, but there's also this association perhaps with water or dust, air can whirl, but people can whirl around in a dance, right? Swirl could also be with liquids. Right? I said syrup. You can swirl. If you have some cereal and you pour some, I don't know, like oatmeal syrup on top, you can swirl it around. Spin around. Yes. Spin around. You can spin all by yourself in place. Whirlwind. Yes, there's also a figurative meaning. If you say that yesterday was there could be a whirlwind in your city, Manuel, and that could be literal, like the strong wind. But if yesterday was like a whirlwind of activity, it means activity was fast, busy, and perhaps even chaotic. All right, so what does a record do on a record player? What do you think is most appropriate? Spin, whirl, or swirl? What does a record do? And if you know the answer to that, I'll move on to B. I'm checking out the answers and see if you guys can keep up. Describe the ice cream. See how there's chocolate and vanilla? What did they do to the flavors? Yes, I agree. This is spin. A record spins. If in my mind, whirl has more force. So if it starts to whirl, maybe it would go way too fast. And swirl is not necessarily in place with a steady center. Swirling can be like in different directions, perhaps. Yes, the earth spins, it rotates. More specifically, we'd probably choose rotates, but technically, yes, it does spin. It makes a circle. It spins around. The planets spin in place. The ice cream has a swirl, I agree. In fact, if you go to an ice cream shop, they might even say, would you like chocolate, vanilla, or would you like a swirl? And that means they're going to put the two together. And as they make your ice cream, they're going to spin your cone around and you'll get a twisting, a twist, a swirl of chocolate and vanilla. Yes, Dana. Good. Okay. Some of you have already referred to this in the chat. A tornado might be described as a very strong wind, spin wind, whirlwind, swirl wind. Do you remember I said earlier that one of those words is associated perhaps more with water and air and dust? Oh, strawberry swirl sounds nice. Yes, Mackinson. Swirl. Good, good. C. I'm waiting for that one. And here's a bonus. If you're ready to jump ahead, what did the person do to get all the noodles on the fork? It's not one of the three verbs, but it's a very similar one. Hi, Shine Joseph. Okay, so we agreed spin, the record spins. The ice cream has a swirl. So if you want to associate one of these words with liquids, ice cream, I would do swirl. And then whirlwind, yes, yes. I see the whirl coming in. Whirlwind is like a tornado. Whirlwind. And you could also use this figuratively, like someone came in and out like a whirlwind. Like lots of activity, very busy and very fast. What did the person do? Mackinson, twist, yes, but let's actually take that twist and whirl and put them together. And some people might say twirl, perhaps, could be an option. Like you sort of twirl. So when you're using a tool of some kind or your fingers, twirling is what I think of. I associate twirling with holding some sort of object and making that twisting, spinning motion. Twirl. You can twirl the fork and get the noodles on your fork. Twirl. Sometimes there are people who are very skilled with a baton and they twirl. They twirl the baton with their hands and through their fingers. Some people can spin pens. Can you do that? So you can twirl the pen on their fingers or between their fingers. I can't twirl my pen, but I can twirl a baton. I learned how to do that. So again, here are some associations. The record spins. Right? It could be somewhat fast, but not so fast that the record's going to fly off. The ice cream is a swirl of chocolate and vanilla, right? Liquids like ice cream can be swirled together. A tornado might be described as a very strong whirlwind. So water and air and dust can whirl around. And this is a bonus about twirling. You can twist your wrist, but you're twirling the noodles onto your fork, okay? Spin, whirl, swirl. There are good dictionaries to turn to for examples and meanings. You can check out word frequency, and you saw what I did on Google. I didn't just look for words, I looked for images, and that gives me some associations with these words. So you can do the same thing for any word. I saw this reference earlier. If someone were to ask you, hey, mind if I take it for a spin? What are they asking? What do they want to do? This is an expression, it's an idiom. Mind if I take it for a spin? It is referring to the car. Mind if I take your car for a spin? What does your friend want to do? If you just bought this nice fancy convertible car, your friend says, ooh, let's take it for a spin. Mind if I take it for a spin? You might say, well, how about we take it for a spin? I'll be behind the wheel. You might not want your friend to sit behind the wheel, unless they're a super duper wonderful friend that you trust very much with your new car. Yes, Mackinson, ride. Mind if I take it for a ride? Mind if I try it out, just for fun, just for pleasure? It suggests that you're doing it for fun and kind of maybe to test it out. So, can I take it for a spin? Mind if I take it for a spin? Hey, I just got a new car. Let's take it for a spin. We're just going out, trying it out, and we're doing it for fun. Okay, super. Question 2. Oh, I need to pick up my pace. Another question. When we discuss subjects, why do country names begin with a capital letter, but other subjects don't? We can study Spanish, English, and French. We can also study biology, chemistry, and math. So, why? Why did we do that? I think you answered your own question. Countries, nationalities, languages are proper nouns, so they will always be capitalized. She knows Mandarin. He speaks Arabic. I want to learn Portuguese. All of those languages are going to be capitalized. Names of countries, nationalities, and languages, and the languages, that's what we study in school, are always going to be capitalized. The other ones, as a subject, don't have to be capitalized. So in school, many of us studied biology, chemistry, and math, correct? Also algebra, calculus, all of those subjects can remain in lowercase letters. But if it's an actual course, then it's going to be capitalized. And let's have a little fun right now. Let's pretend we're going to study at Harvard. Why not, right? Okay, here's harvard.edu. Let's go to the menu, check out academics. Let's go to their programs. Okay. Oh, look. So these are departments and programs. It's similar to courses. They're going to capitalize it. African and African American studies, art, film, visual studies. And pay attention to what they're capitalizing. If they capitalize a name of a course and that course has 2 words or more, which words are going to be capitalized? Key words like adjectives and nouns. Small words like conjunctions and prepositions are usually not capitalized. So and will not be capitalized. There's the preposition of. You'll see different patterns. Some people consider a long preposition as an important word, so something like between they might capitalize. I was generally taught not to capitalize prepositions, even if they're long, but you'll see different people use different patterns. So adjectives and the nouns and courses and in departments are going to be capitalized. I know nothing about, well, maybe way back in high school, chemical and physical biology. But look at this. This is interesting. So the course, chemical and physical biology, is capitalized. And what are they studying in this course? Physical and life sciences. These subjects are not capitalized. Okay, and what else are they going to do in this program? Understanding living systems. It's a study of biology, biology not capitalized. So the course itself is going to be capitalized. And when I say capitalized, it's just those key words. First word and last word of titles are capitalized, and then all important words like adjectives, adverbs, nouns, and verb, right? Yeah, adjectives, adverbs, nouns, and verbs. But in a course title, you're mostly dealing with adjectives and nouns. Conjunctions and prepositions will not be capitalized. Yes. Oh, that's my question for you guys. Okay, so as I move on, I'll wait for your answers. What were your favorite and least favorite subjects in school? What kind of college course would you love to take just for fun? Ray, I see art, film, and visual studies. That would be your choice? Yeah. I always love languages, so I loved French. And sometimes I actually liked math, but I also enjoyed science. I did. I liked French, I liked science. But least favorite, oh goodness. We had a course on handwriting for a while when I was young. That was not my favorite course because my fingers would hurt so much. So handwriting wasn't my favorite subject. So when I looked at my schedule and I saw handwriting written as the course name, I wasn't happy. What kind of college course would I love to take? Do you know, I would love to. There's a TV show on the History Channel called Ancient Aliens. I think that would be a great college course. Ancient Aliens. Or maybe theories about ancient aliens. That would be a fun course to take. Yes, he had a biology class. I had a Spanish lesson, so biology not capitalized, Spanish capitalized. Okay, so if you'd like to tell me your answers, I'd be curious to know. What were your favorite and least favorite subjects? What kind of college course would you like to take just for fun? You'd like to take some handwriting lessons? Ugh, I think it's a dying skill. A third question came in. When should we greet someone with good morning, good afternoon, and good evening? Nowadays, people are meeting others for official and unofficial reasons. If someone meets another during a night shift after 12 a.m., what can they say other than hello? That's the question. Do know that I have a lesson in my basic English playlist. That's the playlist with Flavia and Andrea. And among our very first lessons, we go over greetings and we talk about variations like hi, hello, how's it going, right? And combinations. How are you doing? And of course, these are going to be reduced. How is it going? How's it going? Hey, how's it going? Even at midnight, you can greet somebody. You work the night shift, it's 12:05, just after midnight. Hey, how's it going? Hi, hello, hey, all of them are fine. Obviously, these two, the shorter ones, are more informal. You can say hello to anyone. These ones are more informal. So if it's unofficial, you are equals, your friends, or at least friendly, you can do a hey, how's it going? Hi, how are you doing? This one in fast speech, instead of how are you doing, you might hear, how are you doing? Hey, how are you doing? How's it going? You'll hear different combinations. How are you doing? What's new? And sometimes these questions don't really require an answer. It's just things that we say, or you just give a typical response of good, good. How's it going? Fine, good. How about you? Right? How's it going for you? What's new? Metalwork, woodwork. Okay. So, good morning, I think, is very common. We say this, friends, family, coworkers. Sometimes we drop the good and we just say morning, morning, right? Just with a happy tone. Morning. How are you? Something like that. Good afternoon is not used as much. Feel that it has kind of a more formal tone to it. I would expect more people just to use hello during the day. Hello, how are you? Right? Good evening. I don't personally use too much in my initial greeting. I might use it as part of my farewell, like, all right, take care, have a good evening, right? I might wish someone a good evening. I don't really use it too much. So good afternoon and good evening, I feel, are used a little bit less compared to good morning. So these kinds of greetings are more typical. Again, noting that these are for informal relationships. This is for anyone. And experimenting with combinations. Hi, how's it going? Hey, how's it going? Hello, how are you doing? What's new? Right? If you wanted to be a little bit more formal, I'd stick to the standard like, hello, how are you? How are you today? We ask these questions not expecting a very detailed answer, but it's just polite to say. Usually you answer back with something positive. Good, fine, great. And how about you? How about you? Something like that. Yeah. Okay. All right, pushing on to number 4, vocabulary. A member asked, I've been reading a book. Good. I'm glad you guys are reading in English. There is a sentence, I was ambitious, though I didn't know exactly what I was shooting for. What does shooting for mean in this sentence? Here's a quick thing that you can do. Yes, you can go to the dictionaries and see if you find something for shoot or shooting for. Check out if it's a phrasal verb, but you can also do a Google search. And why would you do this? Let me show you. Go back to Google. Shoot for, aha. See how they start giving you suggestions, and you're going to see the suggestions as common uses. standard phrases. This is going to point you in the direction of how people use shoot for. And I see shoot for the moon, shoot for the stars, shoot for the stars, aim for the stars. What does that mean? Well, let's see if we click on that. Right? Shooting for the stars, aiming for the stars, it's about thinking big, it's about achievement. Okay, so again, if you go to your dictionaries, I like Longman. Longman is really good for phrasal verbs. If you suspect that shoot for is a phrasal verb, Longman lists phrasal verbs. And you can see it's especially used in American English. This is one more reason why I like Longman, is they'll tell you that if it's more preferred in American English or British English. We see that shoot for is transitive. You have to shoot for something, aim for something. And this is a bit more common in American English. The example is the media group is now shooting for annual growth rates of between 8 and 10%. You can guess that shooting for the moon is shooting big. None of us can get up to the moon, right? Well, not without some help from a space shuttle, and we can't afford those tickets, can we? But when you shoot for the moon, you're reaching high. You're striving towards your goal. So this sentence means that this person had ambition, this feeling of wanting to do something, wanting to achieve something, but not exactly sure what that goal was. What was the end goal? What was the target? I don't know, but there's something that I'm shooting for, right? Okay. That's a different. So there's different ways of using shoot. You can shoot for, shoot off is a different, completely different phrasal verb. So I wouldn't get confused by adding other particles. Stick to shoot for and fully understand this expression. Note the grammar. You need an object. Shoot for the moon, shoot for the stars, shoot for better rates. Shoot for some kind of goal that you have, right? All right, I'm shooting for good timing here, hoping that I can end in the next few minutes. Yes, you can shoot a film. But shooting for has to do with aims and goals and reaching towards your goals. That's what you're aiming for. The person, the same member, was reading and asked, how do you use swept up? I read swept up in the glitz of the, I don't know the rest of the sentence that you read, but swept is a past participle. Does anyone remember? What is the main verb, the base verb? Swept is past tense. It could also be a past participle. Right? It's coming from sweep, right? Like you sweep with a broom. Right? Sweep, swept. I swept the floor and I was swept up. So the person probably, I'm guessing, was swept up in the glitz of something, in the glitz of the, I don't know, the moment, in the glitz of the celebration. I don't know what the sentence is. Let's say celebration. And I'm going to add even more to give you some context. How do you spell glamorous? Did I spell it? Whoopsie, glamorous. Well, I'm really misspelling glamorous. You know what I want to spell. There we go. Glamorous celebration. Glitz makes me think of things that are beautiful and shiny and impressive, maybe expensive too, somewhat fancy and maybe even superficial, but beautiful nevertheless. So if you're at this fancy celebration, a big party, and everyone's beautifully dressed, and it just creates this beautiful atmosphere. So maybe this atmosphere influences you and makes you behave in a way that's not normal for you. You got swept up in the glitz of the moment. It affected you, and maybe you laughed and laughed, or you began to dance. I don't know. When you're swept up in a moment, it's like being carried away. You kind of become so immersed in that situation that you forget about other things. Maybe you got swept up in the moment and you started hugging people that you normally wouldn't hug. This happens, right, when people win an award, like an Academy Award for Best Film, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress. It's such a huge moment of celebration. The person gets so excited, they might get swept up in the moment, swept up in the excitement, and they start hugging and kissing everybody because the situation has affected their mood. And normally they would not go around hugging and kissing everybody, but because of the situation and the atmosphere they're in, they got swept up in it. Sweep, very good. Okay. For idioms or anything idiomatic, thefreedictionary.com is a good resource. So this is another one I'll share with you. Thefreedictionary.com with idioms. So you'll see lots of examples. Sweep up, swept up. You can sweep up with a broom. You can sweep up and clean up. You could also sweep a child into your arms. But this is the meaning that our member was asking us about. To cause someone to feel captivated, charmed, enthused, right? Swept up. It's like being carried away. I could say I was swept up in the excitement over the team's championship victory, or I was carried away in the moment. I got caught up. There's another one. I got caught up in the excitement. So there are some verbs that are similar in meaning. Okay? Glitz and glamour. Yes, yes. Okay, so I've given some explanations. Obviously, to really master anything new, you need some practice. And so this is where my members are going to benefit a little more. Later today, I'll include some practice tasks to review what we've talked about just now. How do we use sweep up, swept up? How do we use shoot for? What kinds of greetings might you say to a friend versus a boss in the morning, at night? Maybe I'll quiz you on that. Again, I might want to see your answers to these questions to make sure you're using capitalization in a standard way. We talked about capitalizing proper nouns, but not capitalizing these more common nouns that are just names of subjects. If it is an official name of a course, like a course you want to take at Harvard or any other institution, they're going to capitalize that course name. So for example, biology, whoopsies, 101 would be an introductory course versus advanced biology, right? They would capitalize that as the name of a course. I gave this expression to you, take something for a spin, specifically the car. A nice question that you could ask and hopefully get an answer from is, hey, can I take it for a spin? Mind if I take it for a spin? And maybe someone will give you the keys to their car and let you take it for a ride. This one is one of the more challenging questions. Again, I think if I create an exercise that will help you make more accurate choices, because they all have to do with turning in circles, but the associations that we have with each verb are slightly different. Spin, whirl, and swirl. Okay? So we're going to be winding down. This is your first taste of a member chat live stream, so everyone can benefit from answers that I give. So if you'd like to be a part of the live stream next month and send in your questions, then please join. And if you'd just like to get some practice on the community tab, please join. There are other perks that you can get as a member. Remember, it's only $1. So if you'd like to get practice beyond my videos, please consider YouTube memberships. Anyone who is high intermediate and advanced out there, I truly recommend the Patreon program. That's where you're going to get the most support I can offer you, because we have group lessons, and there's also the option of getting one-on-one, which so many people have asked me about. So I give you a good deal on Patreon. hear from other members. If you have questions, know that I deliver on my promises. In fact, I try to over deliver. I make my Patreon members happy with lots of bonus perks. We have lots of good practice. They choose the topics each month. This month is dialogues. We already have a couple listening quizzes on Patreon for them to do. One is for listening and one is for vocabulary, but they're listening to excerpts from TV shows this week and answering my questions. The live events begin next week, so please consider that. Okay? All right, so let's go back to our main screen and see if there are any final questions from my members. I know it's a small group, but thank you for being here. Hopefully our group will grow in the coming months. So thank you, Mackinson and Dana. Is it Dana or Dana? I wish you could correct my pronunciation. But Ray, I saw you here. Hin Chong and Shine Joseph, I see you here as well. Thank you for being here. I know Pierre was here earlier. And Manuel, thank you, thank you. Okay. Who else? Did I miss anybody? But thank you guys for being here. Ray, thank you again for the sticker. I appreciate your support. Hopefully our numbers will grow and we'll have more participation. But I love the questions that you sent in. Questions are a way to learn, so continue asking your questions, okay? All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you in a bit. Members, look on the community tab a bit later today and definitely tomorrow. You'll see the practice tasks.